Welcome to Taking Care of Business on News Talk 1180 KERN for the best in Saturday talk radio at 1 o'clock, and on 1230 KGEO at 10 o'clock Saturday, and for the best in Wednesday talk radio on 1410 KERI, the Christian station. We are now on 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and also 3 times a week on the internet nationwide on knookmedia.com. Plus, you can catch any of our shows for the last 4 years. Clay, can you believe it's been 4 years?
Yeah.
Can you really?
You look that much older.
Deeper in debt.
Yeah.
On the internet at Clay and Marty Show. Your host is Clay Koerner, and I'm Marty Pay, and our producer is Greg Held. Clay, that was a great show last week with Pete Peterson. I think he's going to be the next Secretary of State in California.
You know, I was in L.A. yesterday, and supposed to be there today, as you know.
Yes.
And I talked to some people from Sacramento, and they
you were
feel...
missed, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay.
And they feel like Peterson has a great chance.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, but what really upsets me more than anything else right now is Sleazebag Salas. I mean, we were both in the military.
Yes.
And to say the things he's saying about Rios that are total lies.
And this is the same routine he used last time.
The same thing he did last time.
2 years ago. Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunately, he's got a pretty good lead, but I don't know why people want to vote for people that lie.
Yeah, especially the way he does. You know, I mean, insulting his record, his record as a veteran and his record as a city councilman. Mm-hmm. So, we also had a great interview with Janet Wynn, running for the Senate in Orange County.
Well, the meeting I was at in L.A., they love Janet Wynn.
Yes.
A lot of people from the Orange County area.
Yeah, and what a story she has.
She's fantastic.
The boat collapsing and having to swim into Thailand to.
Well, they actually sunk the boat intentionally.
Well, that's right, because they were 10 miles out, and yeah.
And so they wouldn't let the boat land, so they swam in.
Yeah.
She's an awesome lady. And again, the people yesterday think she's unbelievable, and they think she's going to win.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yes, which is interesting because here it is, Orange County, we're hoping we get a Republican back in an area that was predominantly Republican for years and years and years.
Well, redistricting changed a lot of things.
Yes, it did. Well, plus you've got the military bases that closed in Orange County. You know, the El Toro was there, Santa Ana, both bases I was stationed at, and they're long gone now. So it's changed the whole complexion of the area.
Well, when you retired, they retired.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, close.
They put out to pasture all the old things.
All the old things. Thanks. Okay. Speaking of old things, we've got, in the second half, we've got Dr. Waleed Ferris. Hopefully, we're trying to catch him by phone now and talk about what's going on in the Middle East. But right now, we have 3 friends of mine from Tehachapi, California, and we're going to talk about the plight of small cities. We've got Greg Garrett, Susan Wiggins, and Ed Grimes. Welcome to Taking Care of Business.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Now, you got to be close to that thing, so.
There you go.
So, and actually, before I get into talking to the 3 of you, I want to just mention something real quick. Next week, we have George Allen. The week after, we have Ed Grimes. And we have a special guest sometime in November, and I can't mention their name yet, but I'm real excited about
I think Ed Grimes is here this week.
Yeah, that's our special guest. Is Ed Grimes?
Yeah, he's here today.
Oh, okay.
You said he was going to be here in a couple of weeks.
See, Ed's a special guest to me. I've known Ed for a long time. I met Dick Morris.
I thought you did.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay.
I told you that old age thing is setting in. Dementia is here.
Dementia's here.
Creeping in.
Yes. So, tell me a little bit about each other, first of all. Greg, tell me about your background.
Well, thank you, Marty. My name is Greg Garrett. I grew up in Mojave, California, and Tehachapi, California, kind of dual citizenship.
You grew up in Mojave?
Mojave and Tehachapi.
My condolences.
Yeah, really, with the town, the plight that is in today. But they have some great things going on in Mojave, that's for sure.
I like Mojave.
Absolutely. I'm a desert lover, actually. Yeah, I think you grow up in the desert, and you end up in the desert at some point.
I was in Mojave the other day. It was closed.
Yeah. Well, the airport's never closed, right? Lots of good businesses, lots of great people in
Yes.
Mojave.
Yes, I'm just
And
teasing.
dual citizenship, Mojave and Tehachapi. And I worked with Burt Rutan in the early days, Scaled Composites, helping with the Voyager airplane that went around the world. And Beechcraft eventually bought the company and was there for 15 years, actually. Ended up vice president, plant manager. After that, I went to work for General Electric. Traveled all over the world, was a global leader in their composites division, been everywhere 10 times, and got really, really bored with being everywhere alone and wanted to come home, really wanted to come home. So there was a small article in the Tehachapi News about the city of Tehachapi looking for a capital projects manager. I told my wife I'm going to come home. I took a huge pay cut.
Oh, yeah.
Started working for the city. 6 months later, I was assistant city manager, and 5 years later, I found myself the city manager and couldn't be happier. Tehachapi is a great city. I love my job. I love the people. I love the community. Tehachapi is kind of like a little slice of the Midwest in California.
Well, you've been great for the city of Tehachapi, Greg, and I'm glad you're there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, your office happens to be like 100 feet from mine, so you do a great job. We are having a conversation with 3 people from the city of Tehachapi. We're going to talk about the plight of small cities. So, Ed, tell us a little bit about your background. Ed Grimes.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I was orphaned at age 5. I was living in Arvin at the time. Mm-hmm. My mother got sick. My father had already left the home. But my mother got sick with tuberculosis and was placed in the TB sanitarium at Keene. And so from the time I was 5 to 7, I was kicked around to 8 different foster families. And finally ended up with a family in Tehachapi. And that's where I was raised, and I got there in 1950. And it was a lot of fun being raised in Tehachapi. It was very small at the time, but I credit the Tehachapi area with formulating and forming my own ideas about how life should be led. And after graduating from high school, I joined the Army. After I got out of the Army, I came back to Tehachapi and went to work for the prison. And I ended up my career as a supervising state parole agent, and then went to work for, because I wasn't done working, I was still young. And I went back to work for a private facility called Koerner Corrections, and I was a chief deputy warden with them. And then I really retired. And now I'm doing things that I want to do, not what things I have to do.
Susan, tell us about your background.
Well, I grew up in Mojave. I was born there. Actually born in Bakersfield, but my parents were living in Mojave.
That's why you kicked me.
Yeah,
okay.
That's why I kicked you.
Okay. Just
Mojave,
so I get that out
when
on the
I
air.
was growing up, was a really nice little town. We had a lot of churches. We had a few bars. We had a great educational system. We had summer recreation. We had all kinds of things to do. And when we ran out of things to do, all of my friends and I would go to every vacation Bible school in town to stay busy.
Wow.
So we just had a lot to do. And I was a journalist once I turned 18 and worked for various newspapers for about, I still write a column, so I guess over 40 years I've been being a journalist in one form or another. And then in 2001, I got married and I moved to Tehachapi. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Mojave has had some challenges with its socioeconomic level, but they're working hard to bring it up. But I just love Tehachapi. Mm-hmm. We do things all the time to try and improve our quality of life, make things better, and I really enjoy being there.
Well, I have to tell you, I have an office there I've had for 25 years now, and when I moved up here from L.A., everybody told me you'll last about 6 months, and that was 25 years ago. I love it. Absolutely love Tehachapi.
He's a slow learner.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit about the plight of cities, small cities. You're used to some consistent money from the state. Has the money not been consistent from the state with everything going on with the budgetary problems they're having?
Well, I think in simple terms, yes. The federal government and the state government, with their budget process and how they're pretty much herky-jerky on what they do, and they don't pass their budgets in a timely fashion like most of us do, or Tehachapi does. But it's very hard to create a budget and stick to a budget locally when the state government does not practice what they preach, and they collect a sales tax or a tax for something and they spend it on something else. So it's hard to keep up with the nonsense, that's for sure.
Sure. Now, Greg, they've also given you money and taken it away, right?
That's correct.
Like redevelopment funds?
Redevelopment, unfortunately, has gone away. There were a couple redevelopment agencies around the state that did some pretty stupid things, made some stupid decisions, and because of that, it opened the door for the governor to abolish redevelopment agencies. In the city of Tehachapi, our agency did great things.
Yes, you guys did.
10 years ago, downtown Tehachapi was really not a place that you would want to visit and or shop and entertain. Today, it's quite different. We have over 60 events annually in the city of Tehachapi. that bring people into the downtown. You know, the life of a town, you know, the heart of a town is its downtown. It's not strip malls. It's not, you know, the rural atmosphere. It's downtown. And that's exactly what we love and know in Tehachapi.
Mm-hmm. When we come back from the break, let's pick up there and talk a little bit about what you guys are doing to compensate for what's going on with the city. We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.